This is the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, which runs from Great Haywood to the River Severn in Worcestershire. But despite being the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, it doesn't actually run through Stafford, the county town, and yet there is a river that comes from the centre of Stafford to within spitting distance of the canal. So the plan is to link the two. To that end, a non-profit company has been formed and volunteers recruited to help create the link, which will start with a mooring basin next to the canal. But in a way, they're not starting from nothing, as there was a link before, built 200 years ago.
There was a canal that used to run from the Stafford and Worcester Canal into Stafford. That was closed in the 30s and it became completely derelict, and in the late 60s, early 70s it was finally filled in and all the structures were demolished.
Our idea is that we're trying to restore that link. We've got to build a basin, which you can see is nearly finished, a roving bridge so that the towpath can carry on through the canal, a lock here that will get us into the river, and then eventually we've got to dredge the river so the boats can go back down the river, and a winding hole at the far end so they can turn around and come back again, and that's the job.
Here's what the site looks like from above. You've got the existing canal on the right, running top to bottom, then the basin in the middle, on land which slopes down towards the River Penk on the left. The idea is that boats will be able to come from the canal into the basin and then lock down from the basin onto the Penk, which itself then joins the River Sow where that bridge is. A sharp left turn will then put boats on a path towards the town of Stafford, which is over there. As Malcolm said, the basin is coming along nicely, and when it's ready they will only need to dig out a narrow chunk of the canal side in order to connect the canal to the new moorings. That said, they will also have to build a bridge over the breach so as to keep a continuous canal towpath for pedestrians.
Our major problem at the moment is getting permission to start work on the bridge and the connection to a canal. It's on its way, but like all these things, there's a lot of red tape. Hopefully we'll start the bridge next year. The lock is a different thing. We haven't even got planning permission for the lock yet. All this has got planning permission. We've got planning permission for the bridge. All the town and country planning, as it used to be known as, is all there. The lock is there in principle, but we've got nothing in writing yet because we have to get the agreement to lock down into the river, which is the environmental agency, the local authorities, etc., etc. But there's a lot of support, even within the local authorities, for this project.
The lock is going to have to take boats down or up by 8 feet, but having the existing river to use as the channel all the way to the town is a massive bonus, since rather than dig out an entire canal from scratch, they just need to dredge the river a little to make sure the boats have enough water to float in.
Boats generally today aren't as deep in the water as they used to be. You get obviously some of the traditional working boats, but they don't tend to have the loads on that they used to have years ago, so they're not going to be as deep. There was also some talk of a wildlife project in the valley to raise the water levels anyway, so that's going to help us anyhow. Now with dredging, if we went and said to the EA, we want to do 1.5 miles of river all in one go, their hands would go up in horror because you're destroying a lot of wildlife. So what we are proposing to do is to do so much over a period of time, sort of a little bit one year, a little bit the next year, take 3 or 4 years perhaps to get the dredging done. That allows the wildlife to re-establish, but it will also be beneficial because you're taking all the silt out of the river and you're exposing the gravel bottom again, which is far better for aquatic life.
Like the other canal restoration projects across the country, this is not a commercial enterprise. Far from it.
We're all volunteers. We have our architect as a volunteer, our structural engineer is a volunteer, we have Master Builder who looks after this building work, he is a volunteer. we're always wanting volunteers. Now, if anybody's out there who has skills in building work, brilliant. Anybody out there with skills in admin work, even more brilliant. But at the moment we need a secretary. We could do with someone to deal with publicity and fundraising. There's a never-ending list of jobs that need doing, and we just need more people to help out.
I think all I would say is anybody that would like to come and see what we're doing is more than welcome anytime. We could do with more volunteers. If you want to come and do a little bit, just look for us on the website or on Facebook, or come and meet some of the people that are here. We're usually here on the first Saturday in the month doing a working party. Plenty of things to do. You can just come and have a chat and have a cup of coffee if you wish, but we'd love to see you talk about boats and canals and things. So thank you very much.
Bear in mind, if you help us, you're a volunteer. You do as little or as much as you like. People here today, some will stay all day, some will do a couple of hours and disappear. Some people will come in, have a cup of tea and disappear. We don't mind.
The small but dedicated team give their time and energy because they like canals, they enjoy working outdoors, and there's a good social element. Plus, there are other rewards.
It's nice just to put something back into the town. It's a lovely town to live in, and I walk past here, it's on the canal, and I like to see it being formed. And I think one day when I retire I can look back and go, oh, I built part of that, I did that weeding.
Everyone's welcome, even if they've travelled from overseas and were just visiting a friend for the day.
This is a more sophisticated volunteer operation than I was really prepared for. He had just mentioned, pulling some weeds, doing this and that. I didn't expect to see this huge, massive site with all this volunteer-led work, so it was quite impressive. My work has consisted of hauling bricks and stacking bricks and drinking tea. So I've been doing it's been mostly tea, I think, so far.
This is where the river runs within the town, and at the side of a supermarket, the likely future home of the Terminus Basin. The hope is the new link will raise awareness of Stafford's industrial heritage, promote tourism, and provide a new leisure and social outlet for the town.
A nice walking route, a cycling route, open up for anglers, wildlife. It will also link the Stafford and Worcester Canal corridor with the Sow Valley corridor. It will give a link for wildlife. You'll see around the site all the trees we planted and hedges we planted. It's all to enhance the biodiversity of the area.
It provides work for pensioners and old men like me as a sort of man in sheds job for us to keep us off the streets and keep us occupied.
Obviously, this kind of project, with land purchases, legal fees, construction and everything else associated, doesn't come cheap. But somehow the team have got around this with creative approaches.
We haven't really tried to get a lot of funding from something like the Heritage Lottery Fund or what have you. We tend to work on a sort of reliance on networking of people we know and local firms and contributions from people and the actual activity and work of the volunteers doing the job. So we run on a shoestring, but we're managing to do it, and we've been going actively for the last 6 years. We've built the whole of the basin. We've not run out of money. We've never had more than about £5,000, I think, in the bank, but we managed to do it, and so it keeps on going.
A lot of companies have donated us material. The work we've done, if you had a commercial company doing it, you're looking at probably over £1 million. We've done it for something like 25,000. Because of the generosity of local companies.
In fact, 90% of the materials used have been donated by local businesses. But although the tasks on the to-do list seem simple in theory, being a non-profit community group reliant on goodwill means the completion date is uncertain.
I don't even think about that. But then look at the pyramids, and Stonehenge, how many hundreds of years did that take? So I don't think of it in terms of completion. I think of it just in terms of I'm there to volunteer, just to have a chat and to learn about the building and to give my input at the time. I can't imagine I'm actually going to be completing it myself, but it's nice to be part of it.
There's an aim that's still just about achievable to get water in the basin here by the end of 2025. An end point of getting boats into the canal and down to Stafford, I don't think there's a date yet. I mean, I don't think any of us that are currently working on it will actually see that happen, but that won't stop us trying. We hope that we'll get people that will pick it up and carry on with it, and eventually it'll get done. The river won't stop flowing, so the River Sow will be there for the boats to flow down.
And whenever the group cut the tape to declare the link open, I'll try to get back to see it. If you'd like to help them, I've left links to their website and Facebook page in the video description. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.